Hey guys, Matthew here, and in this video I'm going to talk about global illumination, and specifically in this one I'm going to talk about a setting called ambient occlusion that should pretty much always be on in your images. So I'm in my little section here. I'm going to skip talking about ray tracing for just a moment. I'm going to put on a global illumination, and you'll notice under global illumination there's an ambient occlusion section right at the bottom. We'll get into all this stuff in another video, but right now we just want to open up this ambient occlusion option, and I want to click on, pretty much. So you'll notice it's got two amounts. It's got radius and occlusion amount. So I'm going to say, for example, that I'm quite happy with the current occlusion amount and the current radius, and I'm going to just put on a material override, which means that all my materials will just render as if they were a kind of a bare grey material for now. So I'm just going to press the render button. And we're back. And the render's finished, and I've also rendered another one with the ambient occlusion turned off to show you the difference. So this is without ambient occlusion, and you'll notice that these edges aren't really well defined. And this is with it turned on, and you'll notice that now we get these bit of black lines starting to occur. Now, the way that I usually understand ambient occlusion is it's great at giving definition to where objects meet each other, and that sometimes the rays might have a bit of a hard time actually getting into. So I'm going to turn it back on, and I'm going to increase the radius from 8 to, maybe let's double it to 16. Let's quadruple it to 32 to see what that does. So I'm going to press render. And we're back. And you'll notice that with a radius of 32, the spread of the shadow actually increases a fair bit. So the radius controls how far the shadow pushes out. Now, if I increase the occlusion amount, and to speed this up, I'm just going to do a pronounced edge here. I'm just going to do this window, and I'm just going to press render. You'll notice that the occlusion actually becomes a lot darker after it starts. Here we go, and you'll notice it goes to a very, very strong deep black. So an occlusion is actually really, really important in creating a realistic look, but you probably don't want an occlusion of 10. So I'm just going to change that to 0.8 again. Maybe we can try out 2 or something and play with this. And again, there's no kind of specific rules about what these settings should be for your particular image. You need to have some sort of aesthetic control to understand exactly what it should be. Well, not exactly, but a whereabouts it should be to create that kind of nice, deep, kind of controlled kind of edges. And just as an example, I'm going to just put this to, let's say I'm happy with 16 and I want to give 2 a try. I'm going to turn off the material override, and I'm going to press render. And I'm back. And I'm going to save this image. And now we can actually compare it to a render without the ambient occlusion that we did previously. And you'll notice that we're getting a fair few more well-defined shadows. And that's pretty much what it's used for. So it's one of those settings that should pretty much always be turned on, because it actually allows you to get more realistic shading between the edges of objects in your scene. And that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one.